What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekend astrology forecast for the weekend of October 9th and the 10th of 2021. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you. Hope you're doing well, ready for this weekend. I do have an announcement. I'm going to start doing a show here with another astrologer that's local with me. Her name's Eileen. She's a friend that I've been connected with recently, and we want to do a show together. So we've been brainstorming some ideas of how we want to deliver that content, but I wanted to drop this out here. So what would you guys, like to see from two astrologers doing a show? I'd like to definitely bring something that you would find quality in, whether it's educational focused or transit focused. Just, I don't know. What would be something you would enjoy seeing? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear it and see if I can bring that and incorporate it and see if that's something that can work out. So definitely want that input from you. All right, let's look at the weekend. We got a lot going on this weekend. We got a couple big, stellium type energies here. We got a stellium triple conjunction with the Sun, Mercury, and Mars in Libra. And we also have, of course, Mercury retrograde. So we're getting the Mercury Sun Cazimi moment. And this is where, a lot of the times it is the sun burning in the message. It's like we're finally caught up. We got the mind and the heart in sync here with the sun, and it's about relationships. It's definitely about finding, I think with our two defining planets here, conjunct and with Mercury, this is about really understanding your defining moment of how you're going to relate. This is where we could be like, all right, this is exactly, you got to come back to self here and realize this is who I am. This is how I'm going to relate. And bring that message out there. So there is this powerful burn moment of a great message from, spirit, really, from source and from our sun coming in and getting burned in while our mind and our heart are synchronized. And this is where we can really find balance and justification in our lives. And I think we have a desire to find that with Mars here. So we want to definitely figure out how to create some kind of win-wins, how to bring balance, but also have that strong identity as well. And I think that the conjunction is helping with Mars and the Sun about kind of holding your ground. Is this is who I am. This is what the direction I'm going. This is fair. This is balanced in my life, and this is what I'm doing. But we do get Mercury with Mars, and I think that that's loud. Mercury Mars square or Mercury Mars conjunction. I mean, this is where it's people could have a lot to say. David Palmer, Leo King, uses a great analogy. So it's like the barking dog transit. So could be, some of that barking dog. You could hear a lot of things going on. I would say even just within political realms, with Pluto direct, something's going to get barked out, whether it's one thing or another. But this is about holding your line for your center and finding your beauty and really understanding that and coming to terms with it. And anything in your personal life, do the things that feel right to you, that are making you feel balanced and centered, and move powerfully in that direction. And that's what's going to bring justice into your life. Yes, listen to opinions. Yes, people could have really strong beliefs today. Why? Because the moon's coming into Sagittarius, and it's going to be with the south node. It's going to be with Venus today. Venus south node. So we get these two, triple conjunctions. So it's really a powerful Saturday. So much of beliefs, people are going to be barking their beliefs out about where humanity's going, where society's going, where everything's going. So beliefs are probably going to be extremely strong. I think it's important to remember, as I'm getting notifications that I don't want to hear right now, it's important to remember the North Node, because the Moon and Venus are in opposition to the North Node while they're with the South Node. So yes, I think we're kind of coming out of some intense waters with our moon in Scorpio and the squares that it made, but we don't want to, we don't want to look over the little stuff and the facts that are actually going to, keep us curious, keep us moving in a direction that does help us find balance. We can definitely, I think, find solace in looking out at the big picture today, but it's how much do you really want to just numb out if the facts don't line up? Right? So there's a need to, I think, instead of just believe, oh gosh, I got out of the last couple days, that was intense, I'm good. Yeah, you know what? You could be, because you're finding your center and you're expanding upon that center. But if you're just going to kind of escape or peace out or not look at the important facts in life that have shown up just for you, right? These are personal life stuff. And it probably It probably revolves around relationships. It probably revolves around other people, family, friends. All these things are big aspects, but I think today's a much more comfortable day, but we don't want to just like look over important facts because it is those facts that Libra takes into account to find justice. And it's important to act accordingly for that. The moon's going to make really nice aspects to Saturn with a sextile. And it is going to, by the end of the day, get really close to a trine over to Chiron. So it's definitely a lighter day. I think there's definitely decisions. There's definitely responsibilities. It's responsibility in the little things. Like we're having Phoenix rising moments in life, but pay attention. That's all. It's just not a time to, everything will be fine. I'll put it off, easy aspect to Saturn, Moon, Venus on the South Node. I feel like karmically, like this is where, the philosophy and the expansion of your life can take you really far, but you got to understand, like, in some ways, to find balance, you have to communicate and you have to have those conversations. And you know what? It's also important to remember that just because you do have a belief and you do feel guided intuitively to one way or another, that it's okay that other people don't feel the same way. But how can you, in some ways, just respect someone else's other opinion so that there isn't, like with a Mars, Mercury, and the Sun, like just, there could be some arguments. I just think people are going to be really strong in how they feel, and it's likely something shows up into the world on a day like this that gets people in a argumentative place or something. So something to keep in mind. And yeah, the moon's going to be done with that sextile to Pluto, but Pluto direct, Saturn station. Saturn's going to be going direct tomorrow. So let's look at Sunday's chart. As we see, this is the chart for Saturn going direct at 7:17 Pacific Standard Time, PM. And bang, Father Time's back online. So, in a time where it could have felt like sort of timelessness the last couple days of just like a big, almost like purge of intense emotion, we're kind of like rising up, and maybe we get a sense of, let's move. It's time to get to work, dedicate to something, make sure the groups are right, make sure you're experimenting with the right things for your future. I think that that's super important. You don't want to be experimenting with things you don't have the facts for. You don't want to be experimenting with things you don't understand or have some common knowledge of with a North Node here in Gemini. So I would say that those are important things to move forward with. Definitely Saturn is about to come into some waters, and it's going to start working on that square over to Uranus again. So, this is a big station direct. This is where we're going to start to see more government stuff, more aspects of outer, sort of control start to progress forward with what it's doing. So we are in for some heavy energy with these retrograde planets starting to progress and move forward through their respective signs. Pluto in Capricorn and Saturn and Jupiter. Jupiter will be coming direct on the 17th, so next Sunday, a week from today, with Mercury a few hours later on the 18th coming direct. So wow, yeah, we got a tall order, but this is where I think if you're really finding your individuated path and linking up with people that see, where the future can go and how the right experiments can be put into place, this is, I think, a really positive energy for us. And the moon is going to square Neptune today. And, definitely, I would say on a positive note, this can bring, highly intuitive visions, especially between a moon in Sagittarius and a Neptune in Pisces. Imagination can kind of run wild. We don't want to necessarily get lost in our imaginations or start just believing in a certain way that things are going to look. Kind of ground yourself. It might be a day that, ground yourself in what you're really dedicating to, what really matches with where you're at right now in life. And we do get the Sun and Mars coming to 17 degrees, and that's serious too. So we kind of, I will say, the Sun and Mars will be at 16 degrees for that triple conjunction with Mercury, and Mercury will be there too. Really, Spirit's burning a message, and Saturday is very important, especially for your divinity, your like soul, divine identity. that could be where the most balance kind of comes through, and you want to like implement that and identify with that in reality, and be able to come to that place if it's just like whoa in the outer world. And then yeah, it's a dedication day. So I would say that there's a lot of oomph this weekend that's like saying, okay, it's really time to go forward with your plans, you know, because other entities in our world are going to be starting to move forward with their plans. So, you know, let's get to business here. I would say that it's kind of a we're going to be feeling better this weekend and kind of ready to prepare for what the expansion in our own personal lives can look like and how we can get the ball rolling for those things. But I think it's important to remember also that we're going to see the ball start rolling in the world as well for what might be next on those agendas, if you will. So, you know, we'll see. The sun will make nice aspects with sextiles to all the Libra energy, Mercury, the sun, and Mars. And I think that that's really nice energy because we want to be able to share our thoughts and our philosophies and our knowing, and you're going to see who's on your team. I think this is where you really see who's going into the futuristic expanse that vibes with where you're going, and who's not. And I think we'll be able to find some sense of like solace, if you will, in just knowing that you're not alone. You're going to find out people are on your side. So I think it's a great time for a lot of good conversation, but it's also where you can see like who's not trying to go into the same world you are. But then also realizing that just because the beliefs are different, that doesn't mean that someone's a bad person. That doesn't mean that someone's wrong. It's just like we got to be that diplomat and just be like, yeah, well, these are the facts. This is what showed up. You know, so what? So definitely a karmic time for relationships as we do come off the Venus South Node conjunction and that starts to separate. Karmically, you could just see like who's going into this new journey of reality with you and who's not. And it's not time to indoctrinate or yell at people for not having the same beliefs, although that's something that could come out. But I think karmically, you're just going to see relationships that are meant to be started and ones that are not, or ones that are balanced and harmonious and same team, same squad, same tribe. And, you know, that's very important too. And the moon will finish off with a trine over to Jupiter as well. So, gosh, there's some really nice energy as we're starting to see the sun and Mars progress to a trine to Jupiter retrograde. Unfortunately, they're going to trine that Jupiter with it retrograde, and gosh, if it was just a couple days later, we would have got a nice direct Jupiter, but it's just not a time where we're seeing a ton of the gifts when it comes to the outer, you know, sort of belief of society and the way things are going. I think we'll find that in our personal lives and we'll find that within tribe energy. But, you know, I would say that whatever, because Jupiter's kind of blowing up Saturn's plans here in Aquarius. So, I mean, I think that we're kind of coming into a week where there's some good energy, but there's also like, well, what's coming? You know, what are Saturn's plans here for society? What is the government's plans, and where's that going? Personally, I think that Sunday's really nice. I think you get a moon sextile Jupiter and square Neptune. I mean, it's not going to be the most grounded day. I think we can get a little airy, and I think the more, not necessarily airy, but dreamy, which is good, but there can be a lot of like idealistic sort of like numbing. The more you ground and kind of get to business with what you want this weekend and what the facts have presented for you, I would say that like this is pretty nice stuff. But it's definitely like, where are you putting your energy and who are you putting it into, and what's that look like? The helio chart, of course, we see Mercury past the sun. That was the Kazemi moment. And Mars is in opposition to that Earth. So, yeah. It's here. And Venus is getting really close to Pisces. So we're going to see that ingress in helio coming next week. And, of course, Saturn. Look at Saturn. 1219 and Uranus. So that square in helio is a big deal, with a Jupiter in the same sign, with these two in their same sign. From that perspective, woo baby. But we're also seeing a trine from Mars over to Saturn as well. And we saw that with Venus last week as well. So, Helio's doing some stuff, definitely trying to give us that Aries energy of identification, and like where the future's going. And I think that if we're using our spiritual attunement for the right things, we can expand and have so many great visions and ideas. But this is where a lot of the spell is going to start getting very ramped up, for this shattering of reality, which, who knows, it can happen to so many of us on a different level. But as long as we're willing to go into the future, the right future, and not just the projected future of a false future for humanity, I think there's a lot of benefits that we're starting to see too. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Sending you all my love and best. I will definitely be doing a weekly forecast, and see you Monday as well. Leave comments about the show I'm doing, about what you would like to see on this channel. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I think we need to get back to what makes us feel like we're really taking care of ourselves physically. Seems like something that would be positive. Pay attention to where things are going. I just think reality stuff is important this weekend, so you kind of want to like be paying attention. It's kind of like a, be responsible. Don't just go off this weekend maybe and just like get lost. Like I feel like, especially with the moon in Sag and the Neptune squares and moon Venus south node, like people can want to, maybe just get way too gone when it comes to substance, and have your fun, but don't get too gone that you're completely disconnected from reality. I think we want to find our center and find our groundedness this weekend, and we got that because of the High Priestess upright. Yeah, I think we see a lot of what is going to bring that sort of like divine harmony and balance into our life this weekend, and that's going to show us a lot and give us a really strong connection. So that connection's everything. I would say just don't numb out. Like let the connection find you in a grounded, sort of responsible way, and you're going to get such a powerful and positive message this weekend about what you need to do to progress forward into the right future for you. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I'll catch you very soon. Peace.